Welcome to the Sweet Life Coaching Podcast, connecting real people with expert advice to achieve a healthier lifestyle and live a more fulfilling and abundant life. Here is your host, Coach Tavia.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Sweet Life Coaching Podcast. I have an amazing guest today, someone that is super special to me, she touched my life. Oh gosh, how many years has it been now? Like 4 years ago. Hard to believe. Miss Christina Popovic. Hello, sweetheart.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So I'm bringing Christina on today because she is, I'm just going to say she's a badass businesswoman, and and you need to get to know her. And if you are out there as a listener and you are like, I'm looking for someone that can kind of coach my business, get my feet off the ground. I need some inspiration. I need someone that's going to kick me into shape as far as my business. This is the girl you need to talk to. Christina is just a little bit of a side note about her. So she's a powerful speaker. She's a certified health coach, a master transformational coach, and business consultant. She's dedicated to helping women thrive on purpose and in their life and business. She's a fierce mother of two to her babies, Liam, who just turned 7? 6?
8. She just turned 8.
Oh gosh, 8. Oh my gosh, 8. And then sweet little Reina, who is 1, but she'll be 2 in December. I do remember that. She's a Christmas baby, right?
Yeah.
And she's a naval, actually she's a veteran. Yes, because she was also in the Navy, and her husband, Chris, also is currently in the Navy as well, serving. So thank you for both your service. So I love talking to military people too, but they have such an extraordinary life, an amazing life together. Excuse me. And how long have you guys been married now?
10 years. We hit 10 years in May.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Been married 10 years. So we're going to talk about some really kind of personal things with you today. First of all, I got to tell the listeners how I know you. And that is, we had met at HCI Live, which was a health coach institute. It was a live event for those of you who don't know, that's our schooling that we met at. Christina was on stage and she was competing for $10,000. So there's a challenge that our school goes through when you enroll in the mastery level as a mastery coach. And so she had competed, and they choose, I think there was 5 of you, 6 of you. I can't remember quite.
5.
Yeah. 5 of you who were finalists or semi-finalists, I should say. And you get to go on stage, you get to share your story, and then the audience votes of who they think should get the $10,000. And we're sitting here in front of her. She's sitting in front of me, and she has a big check right behind her.
There it is.
10K champion. There it is. Woo-hoo. And she was the grand prize winner of 10K. She was the most inspirational, I guess, to the audience. I voted for her. She was inspirational. She hit the right note for me. But aside from that, so anyways, long story short, so I reached out to her. She reached out to me. I can't remember shortly after that. And she became my coach. And we worked together, a little over a year, maybe a year, a little over a year together, did a lot of one-on-one coaching. And she is the reason why I am still standing here today, you guys, as a coach. I'm going to say that right now. She's my inspiration. We have very parallel lives. I think she's like my soul sister. Even though our age difference is about 10 years, I don't even think of it that way. I feel like it's so funny. So anyways, I just want to welcome you again here today. Thank you for being here. And I want to start by saying, who is Christina Popovic? Mrs. Christina Popovic, who are you?
Well, first of all, thank you so much. That was just, my love language is words of affirmation. So I'm just like overflowing with love right now. So thanks. See, another parallel, another in common thing. We have so much in common. But no, thank you. That it warms my heart to, that's what I literally wake up, and that is my goal in life. That's my mission, is to be able to help women to do exactly what you said that I helped you to do. So thank you, because we were talking about, on my podcast, that there are ups and downs in entrepreneurship, and it's in those downs, like you need to be reminded of your why and your purpose and how important what you do is. And so, thank you, because comments like that, it helps me to remember that it's so important what I do. It's so important to show up in my power. It's so important to do the video, to make the post, to reach out to this person, that person, to create, and to dare to dream bigger and invest here and, and all the things, because there are women out there. And I know that there are many more that I have not met yet or haven't connected with yet that are going to, be a part of my journey, and I'm going to get to be a part of their journey. And it just means everything to me. So thank you.
Yeah. So let's go back in time. Let's go back to 2018 when I first met you. And you were basically, you started out as like, you were a personal trainer, right? You're going into the health and wellness industry, basically, but you shifted. You shifted our niche. You shifted as things changed for you after the 10K challenge. So guys, she coached me. I rode her coattails. Long story short, I did the 10K challenge. I wasn't the grand prize winner, but I did make the 10K challenge. Thanks to Christina. So, but anyways, I want to talk about the shifts. Okay. So a little bit of the shifting. So you initially came into this health and wellness, personal trainer. And then you kind of went more business after the 10K challenge, right? What, first of all, I want to talk about why you made the shift.
Yeah, I love that. And I think this is such a great topic to cover for so many reasons. So we'll start out by, the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of that is to start where you're at. Like, start with what you have, start with what you know, because so many people get caught up in the I don't knows, in the, well, I could do this, I could do that, but then I could do this, and the planning and in the brainstorming, and the even when you are a coach, and I could do this program, I could work with these people, and you can waste so much time in this indecision of I could do this, I could do that.
Yeah.
Just start somewhere, and and ask to be led, and God illuminates just the next step. He's not going to necessarily show you. You're not going to see your entire life. No one sees their entire path. And I think most people would say that it happens in a way that they never imagined that it would, we plan, and then everything happens a different way. And so start with what you know, and then just hit that first step. That'll lead to that. That'll lead to that. That'll lead to that. That'll lead to that. And it'll continue. And that's what I did. And I think I've kind of always done that. And I think that that's been one of the things that has helped me to be successful quickly, is that I didn't know, right? So I was working. So let's backtrack. Let's go back in time. I was working at a construction engineering and inspection office. Okay. Really? I was not doing anything in health, nothing in fitness. I did not even know coaching. There was such a thing as coaching. I just knew that I wanted a career, right? That's why I was in that job. I knew that I wanted a career. I had gifts and talents that I wanted to use. And I've always had the sense of wanting to create something for myself and be proud of myself and be, just live up to my potential. Okay. And so that was the Navy at first. And I got out. I struggled to find a job that felt, good to me. I stayed home with my son for 2 years. And then I went back and I found this job. And it was crazy how I even found that. We won't get into detail, but I was in this job that I was proud of. I at the time, I felt like I was making decent money. I felt proud to say what I did. It was a good company. It was a good position. And yet there was so much missing for me. I was working by myself. I was on the computer all day. I wasn't inspiring anybody. I wasn't even talking to anybody. Yeah. And I started to, after about a year, I started to really feel the toll of that. And just knowing that it wasn't my destiny. I wasn't living my purpose by being there. And so I started really asking God, like, I know you made me for more. I know you gave me gifts and talents that I'm not using. Please show me, because I don't know what my purpose is. I had no clue. Like I said, I never even knew that coaching was a thing at that point. And so fast track, I do this, this year-long internship with my church, this leadership internship. And I felt God saying, you need to go through this year. And at the end, I will show you what your purpose is. And I will tell you, it's one of the it was one of the hardest things I've ever done. I wanted to quit every inch of the way. I was working full time. I was a mom. I was a wife. And this thing was like 20 hours a week. I mean, it was gruesome. It was hard, but I didn't quit because I felt like there was this promise attached to it. And I got through it and I graduated. I got my little diploma sitting there on the shelf. And I was literally a week out from graduation of this year-long thing. And I had yet to get my answer. And so one day I was literally sitting in my cubicle at work and I started praying and just saying, God, I feel like you told me if I did this thing, you would give me the answer, and I haven't gotten the answer. And I graduate in a week, like what, WTF.
What's up?
And so then I just started I was praying and I started Googling, and I was like, Christina, start with where you're at. What do you love? What are you passionate about? And at the time I was passionate. I still am, but I was passionate about health and fitness. I worked out a lot. I took care of myself. I was passionate about that. Mm-hmm. And, friends would ask me about it. And so I'm like, okay, let me Google nutrition degrees, fitness degrees. I knew that personal training wasn't what I wanted to do. Maybe it was part of it, but it wasn't the end all be all. And so I didn't know health coaching. So I start Googling, nutrition, fitness degrees, and
like all of us,
and then like all of us, Health Coach Institute pops up.
That little ad comes up.
And I watched the webinar, and it was instant. I mean, I'm someone who I know in the moment, and I don't know how, I just jump. And I'm like, if I get that feeling like this is meant for me. And I did. I enrolled. And then, so I got my health coaching certification. I was in love with everything about it.
Yeah.
And I added personal training onto it because I wanted to be able to, craft high-end packages. And I was looking for ways that I could enhance my client experience and use the gifts that I had, because I love fitness and I love working out. And so I added that. But so I started with what I had, right? I started with what I knew, a passion that I had, and I went with that. And what it led me to, though, and what was always underneath, and is still like the core essence of who I am and what my business is all about, it was always there, right? It was always about, even in the searching on my computer prior to that, even in the searching a year prior to that internship, it's always been, I know I'm meant for more. I know God created me the way that I am on purpose for a purpose. And I want to live that out. I do not want to get to I can't tolerate feeling like I'm living anywhere underneath what I'm capable of, or what's meant for me, or what I'm meant to be doing, or any of that. And so I've always been a big proponent of what is in your soul, go for it, right? No one in my family is in the Navy, but lo and behold, I'm like, let's travel the world. Let's join the Navy, and boom, join the Navy, right? Like, I'm just kind of crazy like that. But the underline is, I want to live life to the fullest. Yeah. I want to do everything that I can do. And so now I think me stepping into that for myself, it also made me have this passion come alive for wanting to help other women to tap into that for themselves, because I see so many people stuck and unhappy and dying on the inside slowly. And I'm like, no, I want to help women to know that they can, so that's kind of it.
No. I think that the story behind the shift. I asked you the story how you shift, right. So you went, definitely from health. No, that's the story of it, and that's what I was asking you. That's amazing. And we women. My post today on Instagram is about Thoughtful Thursday and lifting women up. It's kind of funny. I have to check that out today. But I truly believe we need more women supporting women. We don't need to beat each other up. We don't need to beat each other down. We need to lift each other up right now. So much more than anything right now. So I want to talk about challenges. As I'm biting my tongue here. Challenges though. So, we talked about this in the podcast, guys. She also recorded me, just so you know, you'll have to listen to the podcast. She interviewed me, and I would love for you to listen to that one too, because that's a good piggyback on this conversation that we're continuing. But I do want to say challenges. We got to talk about challenges for a second, because here you were coaching other coaches. You were doing one-on-one coaching, group coaching. You coached me, you coached many others in the first couple of years after you won the 10K challenge. And then we got pregnant. We had baby number 2, Miss Reina. And, things shifted for you. And, having a baby shifts everything, right? And so you were doing well in your business, and you prepared for that. I remember you preparing for, maternity leave and everything like that. But what you didn't prepare for was what would come next. And that was the postpartum, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you have that with Liam, your first baby?
You know what? So I really did, but I didn't even at that time. I was not around any, I don't remember knowing even the word postpartum depression.
Yeah.
Because, he's 6 years older. So there was a big gap, and I changed a lot. I grew a lot over those 6 years, and 6 years prior, I wasn't around anyone in personal development. I didn't know, I didn't. But yes, I was very depressed. That first year, even I would say the first 2 years of his life, which was one of the reasons why I really wanted to go back to work after he turned 2, because I felt this, I need something. I'm not happy. I need to make a change. Inside. And I was like, maybe it's going back to work. So no, I was definitely depressed for a good 2 years, the first 2 years of his life. And did I function? Yes. It's like you said, when we talked about this briefly, you said, oh, I had no idea that you had postpartum after Reina. Yeah. It's not that with Liam, especially, it's not that I was sitting on the couch crying for 2 years, right? But on the inside, I was very depressed. And, people very, very close to me, like my husband, obviously knew that I was depressed. And, that was the toughest time in our marriage. Honestly, we've had some tough times since then as well. We're doing very good right now, I'm happy to say, but there's ups and downs in marriage as well. Absolutely. But that was one of the top difficult times in our marriage, because why? You bring in a new baby, babies are, you're exhausted. Yeah. They need you. It's something that needs you 24/7 for several, months and months. That puts a lot of strain on a marriage. And if it's already strained and you add depression on top of that, no wonder it was a tough time in our marriage.
Right. Okay. So I want to continue this conversation a little bit more on the postpartum. And the reason why I bring this up, not to be personal, guys, but for the listeners out there, postpartum is real. Let's be honest. It's out there. A lot of women deal with it. Okay. But why I'm bringing this up with you, because here you are, great businesswoman, got your shit going on. Sorry, guys. You have it all going. You have, you made the pretty picture, right? Of, oh, she's got a great husband. She's got this beautiful son. And then she's got this great business and has a baby number 2, has a boy and girl. Perfect. No one's perfect. I want to throw that out there right now. And I want to say we all deal with challenges. And that's why I'm bringing this up, because even in a perfect world, even though you are an amazing businesswoman and have amazing stuff going on, you had a challenge thrown at you. So we're going to talk about this challenge, and that was the postpartum. And again, I'm not going to beat it over the head with you too much, because it is a personal thing too. But so you took some time off from your business, raised your baby, did some maternity leave, right? Mm-hmm. How did that shift you going through that postpartum? First of all, I want to talk about, how did you get out of that? And then obviously you're back to coaching now. Mm-hmm. Tell me about, how did you get out of that and the shift that you had to do to get to where you are back in the saddle again now? I want to talk about that.
Great question. So like you said, I planned, I was pregnant. I coached all the way till the end of my pregnancy. I want to say days before I gave birth, wasn't it?
I think you did.
I actually, I actually finished, I had a year-long group that you were a part of, and I actually finished with the ladies in that group about a month after Reina was born in January. We finished.
Right. That's right.
And so I finished with that group because, I know you ladies wanted to honor, my time with the newborn, and I wanted to give you the best of me. And so we all decided together that rather than finishing through December, because she was born on December 2nd, rather than doing that with Christmas and everything, that we would finish in January. Yeah. So, I planned to take time off. I planned and worked with my clients and everything. And I knew that I'd take time off, but I really thought in my mind, prior to I had a perfectly smooth pregnancy. I had a beautiful pregnancy. I enjoyed being pregnant. I wasn't sick. I mean, I had a great pregnancy, and I even had I had a C-section, but I had a great recovery of my C-section, everything. Baby was healthy. Mom's healthy. I stayed very healthy, very active, worked out all throughout my pregnancy. It was a great pregnancy. So I did not expect, like in my mind, I was going to take 3 months off, maybe. I was maybe going to take 3 months off because, I'm a go-getter overachiever. So I'm like, 2 months, maybe a month, 2 months. And I really took 1 month off. I came back, finished the group that I had for that last month. Yeah. And I think part of me thought, I'll just get right back into it. I'll feel great. I did not expect. So yes, I expected, to take a little bit of time off, but I did not expect to take as much time as I ended up taking off. I took off 9 months after I had my daughter, and not out of choice, really. It was, of course it was out of choice, but it's not because I was just like, you know what, I'm enjoying motherhood so much, I don't want to go back yet. It was because I literally, as a coach, you can't hold space for anyone else if you're not okay. Right? Like that's what we do. Our job is to hold space, especially if you're an empowerment coach. You cannot empower anyone else. Like your energy is everything. And I had none. I had none. And I remember like the postpartum, and I do think it's important to talk about because so many women, like you say, go through it and suffer from it, and sometimes suffer in silence. And, very few people even knew about mine. I share it now openly, but at the time, it's not like I was shouting it on the rooftops. I was just more hidden, but what was I saying? So what I was going to say is that I felt for months like I was a shell of myself. Like on the outside, I was okay. But that energy, that passion, that drive, that purpose, like all of that, like fire about me, that I believe is the reason I was so successful the year prior, that year, 2019 and 2018, is because you bring your energy is everything. And then it was like, it was gone. And I remember feeling so scared that it would never come back again. Like that I would never feel that way again, it literally felt like I described it as just being in a shell of like my former self. And that's scary, and it's sad. And so I went through a really rough time. I ended up starting to drink a lot because again, you're just trying to find something to make you feel better. And to couple it was COVID. So COVID hit.
We love COVID.
Right when, Reina was born in December, COVID hits in March and shuts everything down.
Good Lord, COVID baby.
And one of the back then and to this day, one of the biggest things that helps me with my mental health in general is working out. I said, I'm always, not always, but for a lot of years I've been working out is such an important part of like me, and and I love it because of the way it helps me with my mental health. Like it helps me to feel good. Totally. And all the gyms shut down, and I'm not someone who likes to work out at home. I love the gym. I love to get to the gym, and that was gone. And so I just had a baby. I'm having postpartum depression. I'm having all these hormones, and I can't get to the gym, which was my one like saving grace. Like when I remember this actually with my son. That was one of the things I got right back into that helped me. I still was depressed, but it helped me. It gave me that little bit every day, of being able to it helped me. And I didn't have that. I couldn't have that. So of course you're going to try to find something to help you make you feel better. So I did, I ended up stopping, nursing, and I started to drink more. And thankfully, so coming on the other side, you asked what helped you to get out of that.
Yeah.
And I think, I feel thankful that, I do have a great relationship with my husband in the terms that I can be honest with him. I can be open with him. I don't have to hide how I feel. And he could see that, I wasn't okay. And, I remember him saying like, hey, I think that you should, get some counseling, because, he could see that I was not in a good place and that I was, drinking during the day or whatever, right. And, not that I was like belligerent, like,
no,
wasn't that, but
you weren't a drunk.
No, I wasn't a drunk, but when you have a drink at, 2:00 because you just like can't handle life, like that's a problem.
Yeah.
Like that's a problem. Even if it's one drink,
right.
it's a red flag. Right. And, so he told me that, lovingly, that he thought that I should get some counseling. And so I did. I started counseling, and that helped some, but then we were moving. So then there's a move, and that brings all kinds of stuff with it, leaving all your friends and, military life. So that was another challenge. All through Corona.
2020. And, gotta love it.
And here's the funny thing is, like, I had this plan, right? I had this plan. Liam was going to be in school. I just have the one baby. I would be feeling great. I'd be back coaching, like all the things. Liam was not in school because school was completely shut down.
Right.
So he was now home, and I was having to help him with school. I was not feeling good. All the things. Yeah. And so counseling was the first step. I went back to counseling, and the counselor helped me to remember the tools that I already had, right? Mm-hmm. Healthy eating, moving my body, even if I couldn't get to the gym, journaling, meditating, what are the things that can help me? She did suggest medication. I chose not to go that route, but to each their own, if you need it and you feel like that's the route you want to go. I wanted to go a more holistic way. And so I started exercising. Thankfully, at that point, I think that things were starting to open up in Florida. And so I was able to start getting back to the gym. I discovered CBD, and I started using CBD. And that really helped me to cut out the alcohol and still have something that helped my anxiety. And I still use CBD to this day, and that helps me. And then, we ended up doing some counseling by myself. We ended up doing some marriage counseling together. And then, that all led to, again, one thing leads into another. This year, and then I'll get back to how I got back into coaching. But this year, my focus, who knew it would be this, but my focus has been on healing trauma. And so I've actually worked with several coaches who specialize in trauma, how it affects the body, how it affects our business, of course, which is, really great things. And I'm actually working with these two ladies, they're business partners, and their business is called Essence of You, and they do energy healing. And I'm now working with them, on that energetic level. And I love it. I love it. It's all helped me so much. I did a 3-month mastermind with Brad Yates. It was a EFT mastermind that was amazing. And that also helped me. So again, it's clearing the stuff, clearing trauma, clearing
big deal.
All the junk that holds you back from childhood, all the things, But let me backtrack to when I decided to
we
go
could
back
talk
to
a whole
coaching.
nother session about that too. About
I know.
That's a whole nother topic. I need to talk about that too. We need to.
Yes.
We might need to jump on and talk about that trauma thing too.
Yes. Yes.
Stay tuned for more, guys.
Stay tuned for part 2 on trauma.
Yeah, I want to talk about that.
Absolutely. So after about 9 months, I really started to feel like I started getting little sparks of like, oh my gosh, I'm still in there. Like I'm in the shell. Like I'm there.
Yeah.
It's coming back out. And I think that I decided to stop nursing. And one of the reasons that part of my postpartum was something that I never even know if I pronounce this right, because it was just something that I ended up Googling again, trying to find answers. I would get this feeling when I nursed. About 30 seconds before my milk let down, I would get like this slap of intense depression feeling.
Whoa.
It was really intense. I mean, so intense that it would make me feel like I was going to throw up. Like it was like this, like horrible, horrible feeling. It would make me lose my appetite. Like if that happened before I was going to eat, I couldn't eat.
Wow.
And I'm like, what is this? And I was Googling, why do I feel depressed when I'm breastfeeding? And it's this thing called DMER. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It's spelled D-MER. And it's basically a chemical imbalance that when, of course, there's all these hormones when your milk's about to let down. And if you already have chemical imbalance, I guess, like it just
Makes
is
sense.
this extra layer. And so I decided, personal choice, for me to stop breastfeeding. And I was hoping that would help me. And Reina was about 6 months at the time.
Okay.
Yeah. And so once I stopped that, I do feel like that made a difference, because slowly but surely my body started to, not need to produce milk, and different hormones started to regulate. And I was, now moving my body again. I was eating better. I wasn't drinking. I was taking CBD. I was journaling, doing the things that I knew naturally would start to make me feel better. And little by little, I started to feel like more of myself. And I started to get that spark back, and that desire again, and that passion started to come back. And I started to feel like my old self again, in the best of ways, my old self, but new. I wasn't going back to her. I was becoming, the next version of myself. And so I knew that I wanted to go back. And so I reached out. And here's one of the other key things. We talked about this in the episode that I recorded with you. Yeah. And again, it's finding that support, right? I got the counselor. And now for my business, I knew that I needed support. And so I worked with an amazing girl who helped me to find my voice again. Okay, what is my new message? I'm a new mom again, and I had to find my messaging again, because it wasn't so much, my messaging back in 2018 was very much the warrior queen and owning your power and all of that. And now I'm this new mom, and I just went through this hell, and my message was more for moms, and I, created a program called Thrive on Purpose, Healthy as a Mother, really wanting to help other mamas to find themselves again. And so I did that right when I came back. And then as I kind of moved out of that season, then I started, and this is kind of where I'm at right now, I really started reconnecting to that warrior queen inside of me.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so it's kind of coming full circle now. And I feel like I'm really in my power again.
That's awesome.
And so it was getting support though.
Yeah.
It was hiring the coaches. I hired several coaches. I invested what I needed to invest to feel supported, to get the help, to get me back on track, and to be able to hit the ground running and come out the gates hot. Right. Which is what I did, and is where I'm at now.
Yeah. And here's when you're talking, even coaches need coaches, guys.
Absolutely.
Coaches need coaches. That's how we better ourselves. If you look at some of the most amazing, Bill Gates, the Jeff Bezos, all of them, I guarantee you they have coaches, and they have business coaches. They have life coaches. They have people that they're surrounded by. They get them through the trauma they go through. Everybody goes through trauma. Everybody goes through shit, right? But the thing is like, it's owning up to it, that like saying, I'm not gonna stay in this and stew in this, and I'm gonna get out of this. And I love that about you, that you took it full circle. And that's why we're talking about this today. And that's why I'm talking to you this today, is you're one of these people that is perfect for my podcast and the things of inspirational. And I want listeners, whoever, maybe there's another mom out there that's gone through this too. Maybe wasn't a coach, but a businesswoman, went through postpartum. got, similar. I'm sure there's tons of, and millions of women that have gone through this too. But the bottom line is that you took the liberty and you owned up to it and said, I'm not going to stew in this. I'm going to get out of this. And now you're Stephen. I picture like this phoenix rising with you. It's like this thing's rising with you and it's coming full circle. And that's amazing. But it wasn't easy, right, Christina? Yeah. It wasn't easy. It was freaking hard. It was hard. Thank you, 2020, COVID. I have to throw that in there too, right? But but it was hard. But the thing is, and the message is clear that I want to throw out there to the listeners is you can do this. But the thing is, you can't do it alone. And coaches need coaches. And if you're a coach, get a coach. If you're not a coach, still get a coach. Like I feel like everybody needs, we have counselors, right? Yeah. And we have psychiatrists and psychologists and things like that. Brilliant people, went to school for that. They're amazing. We need them. We love them. Even if you choose that route, that's awesome. But I feel like I want to touch a little bit about coaching too, since I'm going there with you today, because, and I did have this conversation in another podcast with a counselor and the difference. And the thing is too, you said you did some trauma healing. There's differences in levels, right, of healing. And I believe there's not a one-stop shop. I've had different coaches for different needs, different levels, and you did the same. So I do want to point that out, that there is not a one-stop shop. I have people that come see me that still have to go to their psychiatrist, right? But I do the health stuff, but I also do some little life coaching stuff for them too. So I just wanted to point that out to some of the listeners, that there's different levels and different needs, and you need to find what works for you and find what resonates with you. And, obviously if you love me, great, awesome. If you love Christina, awesome, go with that. But find that, don't sit and stew in what you don't have to stew in. And here's the other thing with you being a coach, probably a little bit, you knew that you're like, I got to do something about this because you had some of the tools. But even though you had the tools, Christina, this is the other point that I was thinking when you were talking, you had the tools all in your tool belt. You went through postpartum. You're like, you knew this wasn't right. You knew, but it was still hard. Yeah. You still needed that secondary support. You needed support, right? Yeah. So, yeah.
And I needed that counselor, served as kind of a coach for me because I needed to hear, she told me, one drink, like it is what it is, but it's a slippery slope. I'll never forget. She told me that. And I knew she was right. Yeah. And she's the one. I remember one of our first action steps was when she said, what do you think would help you to feel better? And I said, go into the gym. And the gyms were now opening. Now this was, months later, where they were opening again. And she said, all right, well, your homework is to go once this week. And I didn't, at that time, I was still in it. I didn't feel like it. It's like, especially with working out sometimes, I love it. And you can get this feeling like, but I don't really want to go, go.
And then you go and you feel so damn good.
Exactly. And so, but just having that person to challenge me a little bit and say, all right, you need to go once this week. That's your homework. Me being overachiever, I have to do my homework. So I got my butt to the gym, and that started a positive, cause and effect. What do you want to call it? Positive. Why can't I think of the word? Cycle, a positive cycle of moving towards feeling better. But I had to make that shift. And even though I'm a health coach, life coach, master coach, I needed someone to help, to challenge me just a little bit, to help me to start that positive shift. And then I was able to grow momentum by myself. And, and I feel amazing now, and I'm not in the depths of depression anymore. Yay. And I still need help, and I still have coaches and counselors and people I'm working with.
Yeah. So let's kind of wrap this up here. And I want to talk about your mastermind group. So, so here you are doing so much better, guys. She's doing so great. Like we talked about, but I want to talk about your group now that the coaching that you're doing now, and how you leveled up and changed. So tell me about what's going on with you now. What's happening?
Yeah, I'm so excited, and it's not launched yet. So I'll just say a little bit. check,
Sneak
you
peek.
know, yeah, sneak peek, but check out my, reach out to me on Instagram and I give you more
Okay.
deets,
Okay.
as you're listening to this. But, I'm so excited because I feel like I've created multiple programs since I've gotten back and they've all been amazing, but I feel like every single one has gotten more and more and more and more juicy. And I'm so especially excited about this one. So it's going to be called Activate, and it's going to be a 3-month mastermind experience. And it is all the essence of it. You know, we teach what we needed to learn, right? And so the essence of it is me really, like I said, me really finding myself again and realizing that I was on low, you know, my glow is on low, like Dr. Sean Stevenson said, you know, and to turn that up. And I feel it's turning up and up and up and up. Nice. And I feel that passion again to help women to step into their power, to be the queens of their life. And what is that based on? It's all based on spirituality. And my spirituality, even, you know, my connection to God, to source, to energy, to the universe, like it's also evolved a lot this year. And so this is the first time that I'm really doing a program that I would consider spiritual and not Christian. And, you know, there was some hesitation about that because why? We're all afraid of judgment, right? And, you know, are people going to think this is, you know, too woo woo or whatever, but I don't care. You gotta be you, you gotta shine bright. And so it is going to be a spiritual experience. I want to help women to create those 8 to 10K months consistently, but how? Through feminine power, through the power of your energy, of being who you truly are and being in community with other queens, right? With other powerful women who are doing the same thing. And so there's going to be, you know, a pillar of spirituality, but also a pillar of strategy, you know, that we've got the balance between the divine feminine and the divine masculine, because we do need some strategy, some systems, some, you know, all of the things, but that's to support us in our feminine power. And so, you know, it's going to be a beautiful container that's going to help to get to those 8 to 10K months powerfully with ease and flow rather than hustle and grind. And I'm also going to have amazing guest speakers who are going to share with us some of those masculine pieces, like, you know, systems and strategies and funnels and branding and all of that fun stuff. Awesome. And I'm so excited that I actually am going to have success coaches. So there are going to be it's the women that I am working who are doing the energy healing with me. Okay. We are actually collaborating, and they're going to be the success coaches in this program. So you're going to get a check-in every other week. So twice a month, you're going to get a one-on-one check-in. So it's a group program, but you're going to have that one-on-one aspect with them where they're going to not only help you be accountable, but also help you to clear garbage that's keeping you stuck energetically, to clear out that garbage so that you can turn up that power and move forward and create that, really be in the energy that's going to attract that wealth that you want. And so it's all about activating your faith, activating your wealth mode, activating your vision. Amazing. Yes. Activating community. I'm excited for you.
Yeah, this is amazing. This sounds fun. Okay, well, I might have to be signing up for this too. So awesome. Anyone listening, if that feels like your jam, if you want to be around other spiritual queens making the money, then you know, check out my Instagram. I'm sure it'll be in my bio soon. It is not even out yet, so I don't know when you're going to air this recording, but sneak peek. What is your Instagram handle? Just so for the listeners. Christina.Popovic. So Christina.Popovic, and we can put that in the episode description too, but it's just my name, Christina.Popovic. Easy. Okay. And do you have a website too that you want to shout out? I do. It's ChristinaPopovic.com. Oh, easy. See, just like you, we made it all streamlined. That's the best way to do it. Easy cheesy. Find us by name. Well, awesome, girl. Well, I think we will commence there. This was an amazing interview with you. Thank you so much for sharing your your story with us. And I hope that the listeners out there will get a little nugget, like always, of something. And maybe this inspired you, if you're listening, to get the help you need. Postpartum is a very real thing. We hear you, we see you, and we want to encourage you to seek the help that you need. Absolutely. Any final words for the listeners,
Yes.
Christina, before we sign off?
What just came to me is if there's anybody listening and you're going through, that part, that heavy part that I went through and shared a little bit about, and you want to reach out to me and just say, hey, the episode touched me, or you want somebody to just listen to you that doesn't know you, is not going to judge you, please shoot me a message on Instagram. I would love to chat with you. Don't feel like, oh, I don't want to bother her, or please reach out to me. I would love to chat with you. No pressure. You don't have to be a coach. You don't have to be a business owner. You don't have to want to be in my mastermind. If you just need a listening ear, I am here for you. I would love to get to know you and to support you any way that I can, even if it is just, a few encouraging words. So please reach out to me. And otherwise, thank you, Tavia. It has been such a pleasure and an honor. Yeah. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you. Love you so much.
Here. Yes, I love you too. Thank you so much for being here. And we'll catch you maybe on another episode, and we'll talk about trauma. Ooh, that'll be a good one.
We should, definitely.
Stay tuned, guys. All right, everybody have a great day, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the Sweet Life Coaching Podcast. To learn more about the topics mentioned on today's show, please visit sweetcoachtavia.com.